Welcome back to Lamplight City. We gotta find singing time, and we gotta get in the Opium Den so we can talk to old Darius, so we can find out what happened to homeboy who got shot for his sister. So, we've been there. Maybe she knows something.
All right, Mr. Chavez. The cake and muffins come to a total of 6 crowns, 10 shillings.
There you are, Mrs. Morgan. And thank you again. Barbara is going to love this.
My pleasure. Enjoy.
Pardon me, sir.
Oh, you're excused.
I'm sure Barbara will enjoy them, the cow. Ah, Mr. Fordham. Welcome.
What a
Thank you,
bitch.
Mrs. Morgan.
A bunch of assorted baking products. Don't waste your time with those, Miles. We've got a murder to solve. Those look nice, but given the choice, I'll always side with pie over cake.
I think I might have to agree.
A very wise man once told me, never go poking around the back rooms of bakeries. I think you'd do well to heed that advice.
You wonder what happens in the back room.
Well, I never had much of a sweet tooth, but even I'd consider buying some of this stuff. You know, if I were still alive. Minor detail, I know. The stuff in that day-old box doesn't look half bad. More like 3/4 bad.
All right, let's talk to Emily.
You got time for a few more questions, Mrs. Morgan?
Yes, of course.
What can you tell me about your brother?
Ronan was the best brother anyone could have asked for. He took care of me after our parents died. Carriage accident. I was only 9 and he was 13. Ronan went out and found work and managed to support the both of us.
Good
He
work.
was just a child himself, but he kept us out of the gutter. Or worse, the workhouse.
How did you hear of his death?
Ronan comes by to visit me every day after he finishes work. When he didn't come for 2 days in a row, I got worried. I went to his apartment, but he wasn't there. So I made a report to the police. Yesterday, they contacted me and asked me to come to the mortuary.
Dun dun dun.
Terribly sorry for your loss, Mrs. Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham. Please, find whoever did this to him. Ronan deserved so much better.
What are your thoughts on the outcome of the election?
That's not what I wanted
Oh.
to do.
I haven't given it much thought, to be honest. It hardly seems to matter now.
Yes, of course. My apologies for bringing it up. So, this is your bakery.
My husband Gerald and I have had it for almost 10 years.
Is it just the two of you? Do you have any
Gerald
children?
Morgan, huh?
Alas, no. Some extra hands would be most welcome in the kitchen, but we haven't yet been blessed. It's such a shame that Ronan never got to be an uncle.
What do you know about your
Right.
brother's murder?
Only what the police told me. He was shot at close range outside that pub in the Chum. Nothing was missing, and his wallet had money in it, so they said it wasn't a robbery. I didn't recognize the clothes he was wearing. I had never seen them before, and they were far too big for him. I still can't believe he's gone. He was the only family
So
I
why
had
would he?
left.
Dr. Edwards at the mortuary might be able to give us some more detailed information. The only thing we'll get out of this one is more tears.
Okay.
What sort of life did Ronan lead?
You know, just normal. He'd go to work, come visit me afterwards, and go home. He didn't have much of a social life. At least he never mentioned any friends to me. I always hoped Ronan would meet a nice girl to settle down with, but he was so shy, you know.
Where did
Oh.
Ronan work?
At the Grips Home Taxidermy Shop in Gascon.
Okay.
I always thought it was rather macabre work, but he enjoyed it. Bit lonely, though.
Okay. Two new places.
Can you give me the address of Ronan's apartment?
It's at 1172 Bushmill Street. I have a spare key.
That would be most helpful.
Okay.
Thank you. Those are all the questions I have for now.
That just opened
All right,
everything
Mr.
up.
Fordham.
All right. Okay. Darius and the Opium Den, Dr. Edwards. I wonder how we get into that den. Maybe Upton
I
knows
was
something
beginning to
about it.
wonder when you'd show up.
Well, wonder no longer. I'm here and I need to see Dr. Edwards.
Oh, I
We're
see
off
how
on
it
kind of
is.
chipper.
He helped you solve a case, and now you don't have time for us lowly front desk clerks.
That's just the way it goes, Upton. Maybe next time you should pick a nicer coffee house.
Right. You know the way. Snelling isn't in today, so you're all clear.
Well, that's a relief. Thanks, Upton.
Well, maybe she knows something
Can we
about
talk for a moment?
Certainly. What's on your mind?
the Opium Den.
You wouldn't happen to know anything about Ronan Lespay, would you?
Probably nothing more than you already know. His body is in the mortuary, and the reason for his murder is unknown. I suggest you speak with Dr. Edwards.
Well, that's where we're going.
Would you happen to have any information on the Opium Den in Chumley?
There we
I know
go.
there is one, but that's about it. The department doesn't have the manpower to bother keeping files on that sort of establishment.
So no idea how one might get inside.
I'm afraid not. Those places are very hush-hush about their activities.
Oh,
They're
yeah?
almost like exclusive high society clubs in their own seedy way.
Interesting observation. I think I'll keep that in mind. How are things with you?
Better than last week, but plenty of feathers still ruffled around here.
What happened?
You have to ask. Snelling was not happy with you turning up at the Latham crime scene. It was a right inquisition around here. Snelling going around to interrogate everyone, trying to ferret out a leak.
So he suspects.
I'm afraid so. I managed to calm him down some and divert suspicion. He thinks someone on the force is speaking to the Gazette, not to you directly.
Well, that's some kind of relief. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Oh, don't worry about me. Well, maybe worry about me a little.
Aw.
That was one hell of an election, wasn't it?
That it was. I don't know how he managed it, but I'm glad Leroy won.
Oh, wow.
I
Really?
can't say I agree, but I'm not really surprised. Leroy may have started as something of a dark horse, but his campaign had been gaining a lot of steam leading up to the election.
No pun intended.
Pun not intended.
Yes, well, it's the Steam Tech issue that clinched it. When something like the Lygia happens, people start to wake up and wonder if we really want contraptions like that in our lives.
You have to admit, he was playing up on people's fears. Not exactly the most honorable way of getting into office.
No, not at all.
Fordham, since when have politics ever been honorable?
I'm guessing you can't go over this case with me either.
I have to distance myself completely from this one. So when you figure it out, you'll need to speak directly to Mrs. Morgan. I can still try and help you if there's something specific
Okay.
giving you trouble, though.
I'll let you get back to work.
Okay.
And you'd better do the same.
All right. Let's go see the doc. That guy in the background kind of looked like a skeleton.
I hope I'm not interrupting
I hear
anything,
something
Edwards.
burning, like a Bunsen burner.
Ah, Fordham. Always a pleasure.
Have you got time for some questions?
Of course.
How we
How's
doing?
the coroner business?
How we doing?
Things have been pretty dead around here lately.
Don't quit your day job, Edwards. What are your thoughts on the election?
There was an election?
I think our friend Edwards needs to get out a bit more.
All right, he does.
So what can you tell me about Ronan Lespay?
What's up with old
Caucasian
Roland?
male, approximately 27 years old, died of blood loss as a result of being shot at close range. He was brought in 4 nights ago. I performed the postmortem the following day. After that, his next of kin was contacted. I believe his sister came to identify the body.
Okay, we know all this.
Any personal opinions on what might have happened?
Well, the fact he was shot at such a close range would suggest it was done by someone he knew. And
Okay.
robbery doesn't appear to be a motive, since his wallet was found on the body with money in it. Beyond that, your guess is as good as mine.
Better, I hope.
Did the postmortem reveal anything?
Quite a few things, actually.
Ooh, lay it on
Mr.
me.
Lespay was extremely inebriated when the shooting took place.
Okay, so he was drunk.
There was enough alcohol in his blood to presume he had been drinking for hours before his death. I also managed to remove the bullet from his heart. It's a .36 caliber lead ball, standard revolver shot. It shouldn't be too hard to match to a weapon,
Lead ball.
provided you can find it.
Did you notice anything unusual about the clothes Mr. Lespay was wearing?
Unusual? Not really. They seemed a bit big for him, but that's all.
His sister seemed convinced that they didn't belong to him.
That's a distinct possibility. but I couldn't say for sure. He could have just been a sloppy dresser.
Those kids
No
in their
murder
baggy
weapons been
clothes.
found?
That's right. Either the killer still has it, or the police just overlooked it. If you happen across any weapons in your investigation, be sure to bring them to me. I can tell you if it matches the bullet.
Thank you, Edwards. I'll be on the lookout. I'll be going now, Edwards.
Take care, Fordham. And remember, not everyone gets to leave the morgue alive, so consider yourself lucky that you can.
That's bad. Bum, bum, ba-bum, bum. All right. Where's the old boy's apartment?
Quite the collection of exotic items in here. Ronan appears to be a seasoned world traveler.
Or at least knows someone who is.
Just looking at this painting is making me feel seasick.
It's a cool painting, though.
Locked. Naturally.
There's got to be a key in here somewhere.
Locked. Naturally. This one is scarier than the other masks. Wait a moment. I think I saw something shiny in the back of the mouth.
Ooh. Is it a key?
How about that? A perfect hiding place for a key.
All right, let's continue to look around. We'll get inside
This
that.
mask looks African. You should try it on. It'd be an improvement. Some kind of owl mask. The hair looks incredibly familiar. Ronan's book collection mostly consists of cheap pulp adventure novels, but this top shelf looks interesting.
Of course it does. Exotic fauna of Africa. Exotic fauna of Australia. Secret customs of the Orient. Fishbowl? Unmarked book.
No title, and it appears to be blank. I wonder if Ronan just kept empty books on his shelf to appear well read. No title, and it appears it's in another language, but it appears to be a Bible.
You must be aware, dear reader, that the customs of the Orient differ greatly from our own. You would do well to familiarize yourself with not only the common ones, but more obscure, clandestine ones, lest you offend in your travels. Opium use. At the turn of the century, travelers to the Orient would often seek out more exotic pleasures, which is to say opium. Nowadays, the influx of migrants from China to Vespuccia have caused a significant drop in this type of tourism, as many opium dens have appeared in El Presidio, and with some even known to exist as far east as New Brigante. In any case, opium dens are open to all who ask to seek to indulge, known colloquially as riding the dragon. The use of opium recreational for relaxation or as a social activity is a common pastime. If you are offered wine, make sure you understand what exactly it is you're about to drink. Chances are it might be beanju, a clear liquid usually distilled from fermented whatever. Although other grains may be used, southern China versions may employ glutinous rice, while northern China varieties may use wheat, barley, millet. As a foreigner drinking, maybe a shocking experience. A rabbit and a donkey? That's what you call a kangaroo? Okay. Well, we learned about riding the dragon.
I had an illustration that looked similar to
So
that
that's
one.
good.
I wonder where it ended up. I guess Ronan won't be realizing his world travel dreams now. Death really has a way of messing up your plans. Ronan wasn't too concerned with comfort, apparently. This is hardly bigger than a bunk at sea. Ronan
Nothing you can do extra there?
wasn't.
That's not the bed, that's a chest. Alright, well, let's get in here to his desk.
Now to find out what Mr. Lespay finds so precious.
A teacup.
Ooh, this teacup could use a washing. I'd be surprised if it isn't permanently stuck to the desk. It's empty. Too bad.
Too bad.
They appear to be a pair of letters from Ronan's landlord.
With regards to your request for an extension to pay this month rent, I'm glad to give you until next month. You've always been a reliable tenant who's paid on time, so don't be concerned. I hope you resolve your issues. Danforth. I don't understand we all go through financial difficulties, but I'm afraid I can't extend my generosity beyond the end of 2 months. Please have the rent ready by then, or I will seek no choice but to seek legal action against you. I did give him quite a bit.
A model of the SS Joondalup. Looks like a merchant vessel to me. A model of... This one appears to be from Emily.
Ronan, Gerald and I will be celebrating the new year. I would like to invite you to spend it with us. Please feel free to bring along any guests you'd like, especially any lady friends you might have. All my love, Emily.
Looks like you found Ronan's journal. Perhaps this will be able to give us some more insight into what he was up to before he died.
Let's see. February 24th, 1844. Jimbo has been at sea for nearly 2 months. These long periods away are the most difficult, but all the time seems to disappear when I see him again. My solace is that he will return with plenty of tales of adventure. I can hardly wait to hear them. March
So we need to
11th,
have a
1844.
specific one?
I must have eaten something last night which didn't agree with me because I've had a terrible case of the runs.
That's gross.
Probably best to skip this one.
Agreed.
Aha. A letter from someone called Jimbo?
We just heard about Jimbo. Next week will be a year since we met. I can honestly say my life has changed for the better in every possible way, and I'll always hold July 8th as a special day in my heart. I can't wait to see you again, Jimbo. Alright, now we can go to July 8th.
There are 2 entries, one from this year and one from last.
So, start with last year's.
July 8th, 1843. I've decided I need to get out more, so I'm going to a club in Gascon tonight.
Gascon?
Stuffing animals has taken its toll, and I need to talk to someone who isn't Emily or my coworkers. Gerald told me about a place called the Crimson Cat. I'll try it, and if I don't enjoy myself, I'll just come home. Now for this year's entry. July 8th, 1844. Today is our 1-year anniversary. We're going to meet at the Cat again. I love him, but I wish he wasn't so attached to that place. Emily is so nosy, I worry that she might follow me and discover the truth about Jimbo. If we moved around, I wouldn't worry, but with him, it's always the Crimson Cat. I really shouldn't complain, though. What we have is something truly special.
Okay,
Well,
so
it
he's
seems that our
gay.
best hope of finding this Jimbo character is to visit the Crimson Cat.
Okay, let's go find Darius. Let's see if we can't get Darius.
You again? What do you want?
I was told this was the place to come if I wanted to ride the dragon.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you say so? Please, come in.
Alright, let's save it here. Darius.
They're really dedicated to their theme in here, aren't they? Poor horse. That fellow in the armor must have weighed a ton.
Yeah, horses are good.
Fancy. At least they provide their clients with some measure of privacy. Now I see why they call it riding the dragon.
Nice.
Now I see. She's not going to be much help right now. That's not to bother her.
Right now. Okay, so she will be. She's mean mugging me.
Excuse me, I'm looking for a man by the name of Darius.
Well, look no further. Welcome, friend. Sit, join me.
I'll stand, if that's all right. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions.
Alright.
Questions are the path to enlightenment. Answers fly by as birds on the breeze. But will a caged bird sing? That is the true question.
Wonderful. He's as high as a kite. This is going to be worse than pulling teeth.
It's gonna be interesting. Let's hear about himself.
You often come to this establishment, Darius?
Oh, yes. This place is better than any doctor or hospital. It has exactly the cure I need.
I'm sure it does.
For what?
I'm ill, sir. Just as you are. Just as we all are. Infected by a terrible disease known as life.
That is the damn
Speak for
truth.
yourself.
But spend a few hours in here with the intoxicating nectar of the poppy, and you'll find nothing can defeat you.
Are you familiar with a man named Ronan Lespay?
Never
I know
know his
many
name.
men. Some old, some young, some rich, some poor. Some I know by name, some by face. But this man you speak of, this Ronan,
Show him the
he
picture.
is unfamiliar to me.
I have a ferrotype. Do you recognize him?
Forgive me, but my eyes are blurry. I cannot make out his features.
Well, he's useless, isn't he? Too bad there's no way to snap him out of it, like there was with Dupre's kid.
Oh, is that a hint?
Do you know anything about the murder outside the Silent Raven on election night?
Murder? Was it a murder?
It was. A man was shot in cold blood.
Shot
That
him!
would explain the commotion, as well as the sound.
So you heard the gunshot?
I did. I thought it might have been one of the voting machines making a noise. But then there were shouts, and people began to run.
Yeah?
Did you see or hear anything before you heard the gunshot?
I seem to remember hearing a man shouting a name.
A name?
Yes. It sounded like Priscilla.
Well, how about that? He's managed to be of some use after all. Assuming he's telling the truth, of course.
And does the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Afraid not, young man.
Priscilla.
What can you tell me about the Silent Raven?
Ah, the Raven. My home away from home.
I would have thought that was this place. Unless this one is just the home.
Do you have many friends there? People you speak with often?
What about Tom?
Yes.
We need to know where Tom's at.
Friends. I call them friends anyway, but really, what is a friend? Someone who drinks with you? Someone who shares secrets with you? Are those friends? My father used to tell me that the only two friends you had were your mother and the crown in your pocket. Well, both of those are gone now. So what does that mean for me?
You ain't got no friends.
Don't know, sir. I'm just asking about people you speak to at the Raven.
The barmaid, Nicole, she gets mad at me sometimes when I break things. But she's all right.
Have you ever conversed
What
with a
about
patron
Singing
called Singing
Tom?
Tom?
Singing Tom. You mean old Tom Puffin?
I'm not sure. I was just told he was called Singing Tom and was a regular at the Silent Raven.
That's the man. I see him in here all the time.
In here, not just at the Raven?
Tom is a child of the poppy, just as I am.
Oh,
he truly
he's a little
understands
addict.
the world as it is.
Do you know where I might be able to find him?
Yes, he's the choir master at St. Denis Cathedral. That's
Saint
where
Denis.
he spends his time when he's not here.
You mean to tell me we have to talk to another one of these loonies? Wonderful.
Okay.
So did you manage to get out of here and vote?
Please don't bother me with such trivial matters. Why should I care who leads the government? As long as they don't outlaw places like this, they can do whatever they please.
Is this guy ignorant or just apathetic?
A little
Yeah,
both.
I don't know, and I don't care.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye,
sir.
young man. May you find peace and happiness.
She's not.
Alright, well, we figured out where Tom was. That's good. That is good news. Wonder if she can tell us anything else.
Excuse me, barmaid?
Hi, what do you need?
Does the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Nope.
Priscilla.
I appreciate you taking the time to chat.
Yeah.
If the guy totally looks like I should be able to talk to him. Okay, we can go to Tom. Then we can do some more work into his life.
Now this is one intriguing chest. If
only we could search it without arousing any suspicions. Heh, prayer candles? People think lighting one of these is gonna solve their problems. If only it were that easy. Also, what happens if they go out? Does that mean your prayer gets canceled?
Yes, yes it does.
Shh. What? It's an important question. The more I think about it, the more I want to test my theory about prayers being canceled if the candles go out. This looks like the
I don't think I wanna do that
two
yet.
angels. This angel looks like it would throw its lamp at you as soon as you turned your back on it. What a racket. I'm glad you're not a member of this church. Sitting through Sunday Mass would drive me insane.
Tom Puffin.
I beg your pardon. Are you Tom Puffin?
I am. How may I help you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. I wanted to ask you a few questions.
Questions? Have I done something wrong?
No, Mr.
Maybe.
Puffin. I simply believe you may have some information that I need.
Very well, then.
Very well then.
What were you doing on election night, Mr. Puffin?
Election night? That was ages ago, wasn't it?
It was 4 nights ago, to be precise.
That was a long time ago.
You have to understand. I have trouble recalling what I ate for breakfast this morning, let alone what happened 4 nights ago.
Well, isn't that convenient?
Do try to remember, Mr. Puffin. It's quite important.
Well, I know I voted at my local polling place, the Silent Raven.
There we go.
Then, I'm not sure, actually.
How did you become choir master of this church?
Oh, well, I studied music at the University of New Britannia. Once I
Britannia.
completed my studies, I began writing symphonies in hopes of securing a patron, but I had no luck. So I decided to focus on choral compositions. I said a few pieces to the bishop, and he offered me the position.
And you enjoy it?
Oh, yes, sir, immensely. I'm able to continue composing songs for our choir, as well as teach music to our young members. I take my church duties very seriously.
Very
What else do you
seriously.
do besides lead the choir?
Just a few things here and there, making sure the aisles and the pews are clean, tending to the prayer candles, and that sort of thing.
Okay, prayer candles.
Do you know anything about the murder outside the Silent Raven?
Murder?
Yes, a man was shot. Did you see or hear anything?
I don't remember. I don't think so, no.
How long were you at the Raven that evening?
Not very long, I don't think. I went, voted, stayed for a drink, and then I left.
You sure?
You recall what you did the rest of the evening?
Not specifically. I probably went home and went to bed, like I always do.
Are you in the habit of using opium, Mr. Puffin?
What? Why would you think that?
Because
I
Darius.
met your friend Darius. He told me you share a pastime.
All right, yes, I do enjoy a visit to the Opium Den from time to time.
From time to time? More like morning, noon, and night.
Have you found the drug has had any adverse effects? Memory loss, for example.
I admit I'm not quite as quick as I used to be, but without it, I'm in constant pain.
Is that right?
I fell off a horse when I was 15, and ever since then, my back's not been right. The doctors haven't been able to help. Poppy is my only comfort. I wish there were another way.
It might be worth seeking a more professional opinion about the effects of opium.
Do you recognize the man in this photo?
Is that? No, never mind.
What is it?
Well, for a moment, I thought it was someone else, but I was clearly mistaken.
No.
So you don't recognize this person then?
Afraid not. Who is he?
His name is, or rather was, Ronan Lespay.
What? Is he dead?
He is. I'm trying to find out who killed him.
Well, I hope you find your man, Mr. Fordham.
Does the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Priscilla.
What does that have to do with anything?
The name has come up in my investigation. Is it someone you're acquainted with?
No, it isn't. I don't know anyone by that name.
He certainly seemed concerned about her, though.
So, what do you think of the
Okay, let's
election
talk
results?
to
All right, the election. Who won?
Leroy. He beat Atwood by
What's
a
his
significant
name?
margin.
Oh, I suppose
Conrad
that's good. I
Cornrath.
think I may have voted for him, but I'm not sure.
I'll let you resume your practicing, Mr. Puffin.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
I'm gonna save it here and see if we can't get in to the chests.
Well, that's all of them. Hope you made a wish.
And we'll tell them the candles are all
Do I
jacked
have
up.
another moment of your time, Mr. Puffin?
Yes, I suppose so.
It seems that all the prayer candles have gone out.
Have they? Blast, I keep saying there's a draft, but nobody's done anything about it. Excuse me for a moment, won't you?
Let's hope this chest hasn't got squeaky hinges.
Hey, I was about to say, what if it squeaks? Dearest Ned, your last letter made me giggle with delight. I just cannot stop dreaming of the day we finally make our dreams come true and live together as a man and wife. I think it would be just the most splendid idea to get a puppy. But we are thinking of names. What about Woofy? Oh, my loves. P. Priscilla. Ned. Who's Ned? Do we know a Ned?
Could I have another moment of your time, Mr. Puffin?
Yeah, we don't care about this opium smoking motherfucker.
Yes,
Let's
I
just,
suppose
let's
so.
just rock him.
Do you know anyone named Ned?
Ned? Well, yes, I do. My nephew, Ned Bunkridge.
Your nephew?
Yes, why do you ask?
Where might I find Ned? I'd like to speak with him.
Is everything all right? Ned hasn't gotten into any trouble, has he? I always tell him just because he's training his body, that's no excuse to pick fights.
No, he hasn't gotten into any trouble.
Okay.
Oh, well, he lives in Lyon, at 511 Parkside Terrace.
Right. Thank you for the information. I'll let you resume your practicing, Mr.
All right,
Puffin.
there's a lot going on
Thank
in this
you.
case.
Have a blessed day.
Oh, he's a tough guy, huh? We still need to investigate his job and his lover. What time is it? Real quick, while we're thinking about it, let's ask this guy about Priscilla.
Moment of your time, if I may.
Right, but make it quick.
Do you know anyone named Priscilla?
Ah, that's not a name Cormac knows.
Frankly, I'm surprised that's not the name of one of his tools.
I'll let you return to your work.
Okay.
Be mindful on your way out.
So no one at the bar knows her. But we're going to have to wait till next time, guys. Thank you so much. It is time for us to get the heck out of here. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And don't forget that sub button if you're new to this place. We are